Welcome back to the Beecommercer Daily Buzz. It is Monday, August 24th, 2026. Today's theme is clear. E-commerce is accelerating again just as advertising platforms are asking marketers to surrender more campaign-level control. Let's start with the demand side. U.S. e-commerce sales reached $340.2 billion in the second quarter of 2026. That is an increase of 12.2% year-over-year. Q1 had already grown 10.1%. So this is the first two-quarter stretch of double-digit e-commerce growth since the pandemic-era surge. For the first half of the year, e-commerce sales reached $668.1 billion. And e-commerce now represents 17.1% of total U.S. retail sales. But the category breakdown is extremely important. General merchandise grew 21.6%. Sporting goods, hobby products, and books grew 20.4%. Health and personal care increased 9.3%. Furniture grew only 4.6%, and clothing and accessories increased just 3.8%. So a strong e-commerce headline does not mean every retailer is experiencing the same market. Imagine your company grows 12%. That sounds good. But if your category grew 20%, you may actually be losing share. If your category was almost flat and you grew 12%, that is a very different story. This is why marketers should compare business growth with category growth before giving credit to a new campaign or automation system. Revenue is only one metric. New customers, repeat purchase, contribution margin, return rate, and category share all help explain whether the business actually improved. Now let's move to AI search. AI answer engines are increasingly acting as another layer of brand discovery. But the old strategy of simply publishing more keyword-targeted content does not translate perfectly into AI visibility. AI systems can look beyond the company website. They can evaluate third-party publications, expert commentary, customer evidence, peer discussions, and original research. That creates a new risk: inaccurate visibility. A brand can appear in an AI answer but be described using an old use case, or the system may repeat an outdated claim, or mention the company without enough evidence to recommend it. So the challenge is not simply getting mentioned. It is making sure the wider web gives AI systems independent reasons to trust the company's positioning. This also creates a problem for generic AI-generated content. If every company uses similar models to generate similar advice, brands begin sounding the same. Generic content may be easy for an AI system to summarize, but it gives the model little reason to associate that insight with one particular company. The stronger approach is to choose a small number of subjects the brand genuinely wants to own. Create original research, proprietary data, case studies, expert analysis. Then use AI to adapt and distribute that original source. Now let's move to Meta. Meta is removing more manual placement controls as it continues moving towards fully automated campaigns. Advertisers currently have the ability to exclude certain placements for reasons such as brand safety, creative fit, or lead quality. Some of those options may disappear. Meta increasingly wants its system to decide where the advertisement should run based on predicted performance. This changes the job of the paid social team. Less time selecting placements, more time defining the objective, providing strong creative, validating measurement, and reviewing the outcome. But not every manual control is useless. If a placement was excluded because the team simply always excluded it, maybe the automation can take over. But if the exclusion protected brand safety, legal requirements, creative quality, or proven lead quality, the business rule still matters, even if the switch disappears. That means advertisers need another way to monitor whether automation is making the wrong trade-off. Creative also needs to become more versatile. An asset designed specifically for feed may not work equally well in every other environment. The platform may still generate a conversion, but the brand should ask whether that placement damaged the product presentation or customer perception. Now let's move to Google AI Max. Google is making AI Max easier to test and forecast. Starting in September, advertisers will be able to run multi-campaign A/B tests around budgets and ROI targets, and those tests can preserve important brand and location controls. This is useful because automated campaigns are often difficult to evaluate with simple before and after comparisons. Seasonality changes, spending changes, promotions change, and conversions can move between campaigns. A multi-campaign experiment gives advertisers a better chance of measuring account-level impact, instead of celebrating improvement in one campaign that simply cannibalized another. The important principle is to treat AI Max as a hypothesis, not a belief system. Define the baseline, define the success metric, choose a guardrail metric, set the test window, and decide what result would actually change the business decision. Google is also simplifying search experiments. That lowers the operational cost of A/B testing, which is useful, but easier testing can also produce more meaningless experiments. Every test should begin with a business question. What decision will this result change? If there is no answer, the test may simply create another dashboard. So what connects everything today? E-commerce demand is strengthening. Platforms are automating more execution. AI is influencing brand discovery, and experiments are becoming easier to run. The marketer's job is not disappearing. It is moving upstream. Someone still needs to decide which customers matter, what the product stands for, which claims are true, which margins are acceptable, what good creative looks like, which risks deserve a control, and how to prove that growth is actually incremental. The next performance advantage will not come from clicking more switches inside Ads Manager. It will come from knowing which controls no longer matter and which business decision should never be delegated completely. That is all for today's Beecommercer Daily Buzz. See you next time.